Beasties here, and welcome to week 2 of the VDL. This week we're playing against the Old English Excuse, and let's get into the matchup. So, looking at my opponent's team, we can see that they actually have a pretty concerning team for me. They have Galvantula and Excelgor, which both are very fast and super effective damage to my opponent and to my team. They have Blaziken, which is a very good physical attacker that has fighting stab, which is really good into my team. And they also have Primarina, which is also very good into my team. So all these Pokemon are very concerning. And then not only that, I think Crocodile is also another Pokemon that's pretty concerning because I have a lot of physical attackers and Intimidate on it can be pretty annoying. And in addition to that, I can't hit it with Prankster moves, which is one of the big ways I can deal with certain Pokemon like that, with Sableye using Quash and whatnot. So looking at my side, I have a couple Pokemon that seem very important, which are Drapion as a good way to deal with Primarina, and then also if I let it use its hidden ability, I can focus on crit set to kind of deal with Intimidates. Another Pokemon that seems pretty good on my team is also Zoroark, actually, because Zoroark outspeeds almost everything on the team and has a very good coverage into a lot of my Pokemon team because it has fire coverage for Pokemon like Togedemaru, Galvantula, Excelgor. It has poison coverage for Primarina. It's got dark coverage for Cresselia. Um, and so that was definitely seemed pretty important. And then obviously another Pokemon that seems pretty important and good is Sableye. Sableye Fake Out support seems very good. A lot of Pokemon on my opponent's team really want to do things like Fake Out, Protect, Thunder Wave, Sticky Web, things like that. Not a lot of non-damaging moves, and so I can encoring Pokemon into non-damaging moves makes it very, make them completely useless and seems very useful into this matchup. Other than that, Urshifu does seem pretty reasonable, but not too much of an idea. So in the end, I decided to go with this team. And so here's my team. So first one we see is Choice Specs. Zoroark, I considered a couple of options, but I decided that I needed the extra damage output of Choice Specs. And so Flamethrower can one-shot Galvantula, can one-shot Togedemaru, can one-shot Skarmory, Sludge Bomb, one-shots no bulk Primarina, but if it has reasonable bulk, then it's going to do like 80% or something like that. Focus Blast one shots Crocodile, and Extra Sensory should one shot most Blazekins. And so that's kind of the idea. And so next to that, we also have Urshifu, which is Choice Scarf. I decided to do Choice Scarf Adamant, and the idea was to outspeed their possible Choice Scarf Pokemon, but also guarantees outspeed every Pokemon on their team. So it outspeeds their and so Adamant gives me exact speed to outspeed that, and also Adamant Choice Scarf also outspeeds +1 Blaziken with speed boost, which is also a reasonable number to hit. And so with that, I gave it Close Combat, Wicked Blow, Poison Jab, and U-Turn. Poison Jab mainly for Primarina, Wicked Blow for anything that anything that I really can, and then Close Combat for some of the Steel Pokemon and the Crocodile, and then U-Turn to get out. So next we have Shiftry. Focus Sash, I decided to do it as a mixed attacker, so max attack, max special attack, beneficial attack nature, with a negative defense nature technically. And then I gave it a little bit speed specifically so I can outspeed a couple of Pokemon in Tailwind. And I gave it Heat Wave for the Steel Pokemon, Leaf Blade specifically for Primarina at max attack. Leaf Blade should kill most Primarinas. I think it kills max HP for defense Primarina. But if they're very defensively bulky, it's not going to one shot. And then Extra Sensory for the Blaziken specifically, but also can hit something like Toxapex. Next we have Drapion, which is Sniper with Scope Lens. So that means the moves Cross Poison and Night Slash have 50% chance to crit, and when they crit, they double the amount of damage they do. And so it does huge damage output. I gave it just enough attack investment to guarantee one shot a max HP, max defense Primarina with the Cross Poison if it crits, and then the Night Slash is kind of covering the Pokemon like maybe a lot of their Steel Pokemon and things like that. And then I gave it Leech Seed leash life, mainly to target the crocodile. Um, Next, we have Sableye. I decided to go with Fake Out, Encore, Quash, and Shadow Sneak. I strongly considered Poltegeist instead of Shadow Sneak, but I decided that Shadow Sneak seems like the most safe of these. Um, Fake Out is just incredibly powerful move. Encore, like I said, they have a lot of really good or a lot of really good non-damaging move on my opponent's team, and a lot of Pokemon that really want to hit, protect, and things like that. And then Quash because I don't want to kind of be in a situation where I can't outspeed them. And then other than that, I gave it the Roselli Berry, so I should be able to guarantee survive a Moonblast from a max special attack Primarina. And I also gave it a pretty reasonable amount of defensive bulk in order to survive a Flare Blitz from Blaziken. Finally, we have Mandibuzz. I decided to give it a Key Berry with a pretty good amount of defense, special defense, and HP. The main reason I decided to do Key Berry is because I wanted to be able to survive the double up of Zip Zap from Togedemaru and Close Combat and Blaziken, or double Close Combat with Crocodile and Blaziken. So those double ups I wanted to be able to survive, and with the Key Berry, I'm actually able to survive that double up. I decided to go with Roost, Tailwind, Snarl, and Toxic. I think I actually ended up switching Toxic for Air Slash. Snarls to kind of lower the special attack from Primarina, and Galvantulas and things like that. The Tailwind to get some speed control. The Roost to kind of win late games, and then the Air Slash specifically was kind of do some damage into things like Blaziken. It should two-shot Blaziken. It does okay damage into some of the other Pokemon. And so that's my team, and let's get into the matches. Here we are for match 1. So looking at my opponent's team, they pretty much have exactly what I'm expecting, except for Cresselia. I wasn't really expecting to see Cresselia because I have so many dark Pokemon. So the main leads that I kind of was leaning to and based, kind of were Urshifu and Zoroark and Sableye and Zoroark, with Zoroark either looking as Sableye or looking like Urshifu. So those are kind of the big leads. That lead, if I do the Zoroark Urshifu lead, it immediately threatens almost anything on their team with the double up, and Sableye, pressures them from doing moves like Fake Out, Protect, and things like that on turn 1. And so I decided to go with the Urshifu Zoroark lead with Drapion in the back. So my opponent leads Togedemaru and Galvantula, and I lead the Sableye Urshifu. So this is definitely not the best lead for me because Galvantula outspeeds my Zoroark, and they can Fake Out into my Urshifu, and so I definitely feel like this maybe would have been better if Zoroark, if it was Zoroark and Sableye. However, with this, I kind of have a couple options, but aside, I'm just gonna double up and kill the Galvantula because it's the more concerning of the two in my opinion. So I U-turn into it with the hopes of breaking a Focus Sash, and then the Flamethrower should kill it. I definitely think this might have been a misplay. I think I have a pretty clean switch in to Sableye here and Flamethrower because there's no reason for them to even target my Sableye here. So they Fake Out into the Urshifu, and they also Thunder Wave into the Urshifu, which is definitely pretty annoying because now my Urshifu for the rest of the game is not going to have great speed, which is obviously awkward since I gave a Choice Scarf specifically to outspeed things. So we see that we get the Flamethrower off into the Galvantula, and it is in fact Focus Sash, which is pretty much what I was expecting. And so here I decided to just go for the kill on the Galvantula, or Galvantula with Urshifu, U-turning, and then a Flamethrower under the Togedemaru to get some damage. I honestly this might still be another misplay, which I feel like I probably could have switched out, protected the Zoroark, and still gotten the kill onto the Galvantula. But we lose Zoroark here, and all it did was bring down Galvantula down to its Focus Sash. And the Zingzack goes into the Urshifu, getting it pretty low, getting a crit, which I don't know how big of a crit that is, but definitely annoying to say the least. And I get a crit here when it's at 1 HP, which is completely useless. And so here I decide to bring out the Sableye, because I think Sableye is probably going to be pretty relevant at being able to fake out anything that comes in, and because my Urshifu is now slower than the Togedemaru, I think Drapion is the only reasonable Pokemon to bring in here. And so they reveal Primarina, and I have Drapion out. And so here, I think the kind of obvious play is just to cross poison into the Primarina spot and fake out into the Togedemaru spot. This does a couple things, but including breaking the sturdy on Togedemaru, and also because I'm faster than Primarina, I should get an attack off. And if I get a crit with Sniper, I should one-shot the Primarina here. And so here we see that they switch out into the Blaziken and go for a Protect. And I decide to, and I just hit the fake out into the Blaziken, and the cross poison goes into the Protect. And so here, there's a couple of things, but I think the main option is just do a cross poison into the Blaziken spot and Encore the Primarina, or yeah, that's the main. Those are pretty much the only reasonable option on this side. Maybe I can lead a switch out of the Primarina like this and have gone like a Night Slash into the Togedemaru, but this definitely ends up being the case. And so they protect, and we end up going for the Encore, and it doesn't do anything, and the cross poison goes into the Protect. And so here, kind of in a similar spot, I think that the only reasonable play is just Night Slash into the Togedemaru spot and Encore into the Blaziken spot. I don't think I want to read a switch here. I could obviously read a switch, do like, some sort of cross poison into that spot, but we do in fact get the Encore off, and so now Blaziken has to switch out or is completely useless for the next 3 turns, as it just protects. And Zingzack goes into the Sableye, and we get the Night Slash off, and we get a crit, which is, this one's pretty nice with the 50% crit chance, and it brings it down to sturdy. And so now, Togedemaru is pretty likely just going to die. There's not much kind of to do here, so I decide to just cross poison into the Blaziken, or cross poison into the Togedemaru, expecting a switch out, and also doing a Shadow Sneak, because if it doesn't switch out, then the Shadow Sneak should kill it. So we get the Shadow Sneak into the Primarina with the Blaziken getting a guaranteed protect here. The Shadow Sneak does very minimal damage, but the cross poison, if crit, should one-shot, but we see that they end up having a poison resist berry, which prevents me from killing it no matter what, and in addition to that, I also don't get the crit. So now Blaziken is still going to protect, and so here I decide that the only reasonable, the main options are I can cross poison into Primarina, hope to get the one shot, or target into the Blaziken spot. I decide that I'm just going to Shadow Sneak into the Blaziken spot to make sure that if they switch into Togedemaru, it just gets killed, and if Primarina doesn't protect here, we can kill it if we get a crit. So they don't switch out Blaziken. Blaziken just goes for another protect, and we Shadow Sneak into the Blaziken, which does very minimal damage, but they do not protect with Primarina. And I get the cross poison off and don't get a crit again. So definitely a little sad. I missed both crits, and if either of those crits, Primarina would be dead here. However, I do take this because of my Berry Resist Berry, and now Blaziken is no longer Encore. And so here, there's a couple of options, and I decide to just go for the Encore onto the Blaziken because it just detected, as mentioned, and I go for the Dark move into the Primarina in case they switch in the Togedemaru, bidding a poison move. So they switch out Blaziken into the Togedemaru, and they protect with the Primarina. And my Encore doesn't do anything because they switched out. And so here, there's definitely a couple options, but the big question is should I protect in front of the fake out or just attack? And the big question basically I think comes down to whether or not I think Shadow Sneak kills Primarina. And so I think Shadow Sneak kills Primarina, so I decided to Night Slash into the Togedemaru. And nope, I decided to Cross Poison into the Primarina and Shadow Sneak into the Togedemaru. So they Brazil their Custop Berry and a Spiky Shield, which is a little bit annoying but not too bad. This does a little bit of damage into my Sableye, but not enough to kill it. And the Cross Poison is a clean kill into the Primarina. And so now I'm feeling pretty good. We have Shadow Sneak to get a pretty easy kill on Togedemaru next turn, and Blaziken is going to be in a situation where it's going to be in a 3v1, in which if I crit, I think I kill it. And so here, we just Cross Poison into the Blaziken spot and Shadow Sneak into the Togedemaru spot. The main question is whether or not we should play around a double protect on the Togedemaru. And so I'm definitely thinking of some plays of maybe like protect switching out and things like that, see if there's like a more guaranteed win. But I decided to just go for the Cross Poison and the Shadow Sneak into the Togedemaru, assuming that they're not going to go for the double protect, or if they do, it's in my favor that they miss it. So Shadow Sneak, get the kill on Togedemaru. And Blaziken gets hit by the Cross Poison of the Drapion, and we see that my Drapion's actually faster than their Blaziken, which I don't have pretty much any speed investment, so that means their Blaziken has very little, if any, speed investment. And now we have a 2v1 where I think both of my Pokemon should one-shot them with an attack. And here we just Cross Poison and go for a close combat. And if either of those, or I'm not sure about Cross Poison, but close combat definitely kills, and Cross Poison if it crits definitely kills. And so they go for the Aura Sphere into my Drapion, which does not kill, and the Cross Poison kills. And so I definitely think that's the right play. They want to, if I didn't get the, if I didn't survive that, then they just needed one full paralysis. But we get the kill, or we get the win there, and let's get to game 2. So here for game 2. So one of the big things that I feel like I was sad about is that I feel like I actually wanted Fake Out in turn 1 in that game. And so I decided I want to lead Sableye to have that Fake Out. And so the main question is what do I think is the best Pokemon in the back, if that's the case, or to lead with it. And so I'm thinking about Zoroark, because Zoroark does do pretty good damage into everything on their team. The other option is Drapion, because I think Sableye Drapion does do pretty good damage into the team. The main downside with Drapion is just it doesn't do, or it definitely kind of feels like it needs a little bit of quash support. And so here we just decide to do Zoroark with Urshifu and Drapion in the back, but I decide that instead of having Drapion as my 4th, I actually want Urshifu as my 4th. So it appears to be the same lead as last time, but it could be a multitude of different Pokemon because of the possibility of Zoroark. So they lead Primarina and Togedemaru this time, and I lead Urshifu and Sableye. And so I decided to just Fake Out into the Primarina, and basically we'll switch Fake Outs. And I decided to Sludge Bomb into the Primarina because I'm a little bit concerned about the Primarina just Dazzling Gleam, because it will do a lot of damage to both my Pokemon. And so here they reveal Zoroark, and I get the Fake Out here. And so this is definitely a little bit awkward situation, because I'm pretty sure that they're going to switch out the Togedemaru, and so I can just Encore there, and maybe attack into that spot, or I can just do Sludge Bomb into the Primarina, get rid of its berry, and then an Encore, or maybe Shadow Sneak into the Togedemaru spot. I decided to just Encore and, Sludge Bomb. So they do in fact switch out the Togedemaru because they don't want to get Encored into the Galvantula. And they make my Encore useless, and then I Sludge Bomb into the Primarina, and I get rid of their Poison Raspberry and do pretty reasonable damage. Like I said, I could see like a pretty reasonable argument to maybe have Flamethrower into the Togedemaru spot instead. They're going to crit on my Zoroark, which doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure that was going to happen, or that I was going to die no matter what. And so here we have the option of Urshifu and Drapion, and I decide to go with Drapion. This might have, I'm unsure which is better, because with Urshifu, I could definitely have killed the, well, maybe not definitely. I feel like there's a good chance I could have killed the Primarina, or I could have Shadow Sneaked and double up and got the kill onto the Galvantula. But either way, right now, this is not a great position if I would have lost Urshifu there. So I decided to just go for, some damage into the Galvantula spot, expecting a Protect on the Primarina. And Supremo does in fact Protect. And we get the Shadow Sneak into the Galvantula, breaking its Focus Sash. And then they Bug Buzz into my Sableye, killing my Sableye. And we Night Slash into the Galvantula, get the crit, and getting the kill. So definitely that was a nice crit, an important crit. However, honestly, that might have been a bad crit. Because now they have a free switch into the Togedemaru, and because of that, my Urshifu is pretty much useless because I don't have to protect because on the Focus Sash. And so now they pretty much have a very clean Fake Out into Urshifu and Dazzling Gleam. So I just need to hope that I get the crit on the Primarina here. If I get the crit on the Primarina, I'm probably in very good shape. And if I don't get the crit on the Primarina, the game is probably over. So they Fake Out into my Drapion instead of my Urshifu, which is probably a smart idea. And maybe I should have played around that a little bit more and Poison Jabbed into the Primarina. But the main reason I didn't do that is because obviously Poison Jab is a little bit awkward. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward of a move when they have a Steel Pokemon. And so now we're not in the best shape because our Drapion's pretty low health, and in addition to that, they have two Pokemon in front of me. So I decided to Protect. So I go for the Protect. To bait out their Protect, and they double up into me. And so here, there's not much I can do. I can get one kill before I die, and so I decide to just, go for the easy kill in front of me, which is the Togedemaru, because I don't expect it to Protect. And and this double up will likely kill me, but if not, the Pokemon in the back has a very good chance to be able to kill me here. And so we Night Slash into the Togedemaru, get the kill, and then we're going to take a single target Dazzling Gleam. And that ends up getting the kill. So that game definitely didn't go as well, and I'm hoping that we can get there in Game 3. Here we are for Game 3. So one of the things I feel like my Pokemon that can be one-shot in Zoroark and Urshifu don't seem super great because of the Sturdy on their Togedemaru, Focus Sash on the Galvantula, and their Premium having the Poison Resistance Barrier and just being generically bulky. And so I decided that probably what I should have figured out after Game 1, which is the fact that I should kind of switch to the Mandibuzz and the Shiftry leads. And so I decided on the Sableye and Shiftry lead. I'm not sure if this is the best lead, because if they just lead the Togedemaru again, my Shiftry loses its Focus Sash. So maybe it was optimal to do something like the Drapion Sableye lead, because Drapion does have the ability to Protect, or we can get Protect and attack it with that. But let's get into the match. So my opponent leads Galvantula Togedemaru, which is the same lead they had game 1. And I lead Shiftry Sableye. And so here I decide that I'm just going to Heat Wave with the Shiftry and fake out into the Galvantula. I don't think my Shiftry outspeeds their Togedemaru, so maybe I should have risked or checked to see if it outsped and just faked out myself and just diamond for the double fake out. But that's my idea with the hope that they don't fake out into it. They do in fact fake out into the Shiftry, which does more damage than I'd like and break my Focus Sash, but I fake out into the Galvantula, which in turn doesn't do too much. And so here I am reading that I think they're going to switch out the Togedemaru, and so I'm not going to do anything with that, and I'm just going to quash the Galvantula in order to outspeed. And if I hit it with the Heat Wave, I should kill the Galvantula right here. So they do in fact switch out and to the Blaziken, and they end up protecting with the Galvantula, which is a little bit sad. I was hoping that it didn't have Protect. And so the Quash ends up being useless, and we get a Heat Wave into the Blaziken, which is okay, but definitely not great damage because it resists. And so here we're at another point in which I think that they're probably going to switch out the Galvantula because I've been so consistent with Encoring. And so I decide I'm going to do the double up in Quash into the Blaziken and Extra Sensory into the Blaziken. This would be a really big deal if I was able to get the kill here. Because, like I don't have a great switch in, and I, strongly consider just switching in there and Encoring instead. But I decided that I'm going to read their switch out and go for the Extra Sensory and get the big damage into the Blaziken. So they do and switch out Galvantula, and I'm feeling really good about my spot right now after this. And we quash them. And we are also able to get the Extra Sensory off into Blaziken, which does a lot of damage but just barely misses on the kill, which is definitely pretty sad. I was hoping to be able to get the kill there, but not only do I not get the kill, I also get hit with a U-turn and end up losing my Shiftry. So they bring out Togedemaru, and so with their Togedemaru, which has fake out, I don't really feel like I have a great option to do anything other than just protect here. And so I decided to go for the protect, and I'm debating if I should just Shadow Sneak to get a little damage, make you break a Focus Sash. And I decide to just Shadow Sneak, break the Focus Sash on the Togedemaru. So we do protect, and the fake out does go into the Drapion. And we do get the Shadow Sneak off. And it does pretty good damage, and the Dazzling Gleam ends up doing hitting into the Sableye, but not doing too bad of damage because of my Rosalay Berry. However, another Dazzling Gleam will back kill. And so here, we have a couple options, but I think the main one is just Cross Poison to the Primarina, and I'm deciding between a couple of things. We can Encore the Togedemaru to because it just faked out, or we can maybe switch out or Shadow Sneak. Primarina protects, and we get the Encore off into the Togedemaru, and we're able to get it Encored into fake out, and now it's completely useless for the next 2 turns, or it has to switch out. And so now I have a strong belief that they're likely going to switch out the Primarina because I just Encored the Togedemaru, and I think it's going to be a double switch. And so with this, I have a pretty clean Cross Poison and switch in to Mandibuzz so I can get fake out later with the Sableye, and also it's not doing much damage. So they do in fact switch out to the Galvantula. And they switch out also into the Blaziken here. And we switch out to our mana bus. And the cross poison goes into the Blaziken, killing the Blaziken. So this is definitely a little bit awkward actually, because if they would have actually switched their switches and I hit Galvantula and killed Galvantula, I think I was in an amazing position here. But because I don't kill the because I killed the Blaziken instead of the Galvantula, it's a little bit awkward because now they have two Pokemon that are faster than both of my Pokemon on the field. And so the main option is just, do I expect they're going to fake out into my Drapion or not? This is definitely a hard turn, and probably one of the more important turns of the game, because if I crit a Night Slash, I do get a kill, and I have Sableye in the back for fake out or quash support and later on. But if they fake out to that spot, I get into really bad shape. So I'm thinking about a couple of options, but I ultimately decide to just go with Tailwind and Protect. Like I said, this was a really tough turn, and I could obviously see an argument to have Night Slash, especially because what we see happens is that they don't fake out, and they Thunderbolt into the Mandibuzz, and they also Zing Zap into the Mandibuzz, and just barely getting the KO, and definitely being really sad because I completely wasted the turn, and now I just have Sableye. So here I decide to go for the double up into the Galvantula spot with a fake out and a cross poison. The main idea behind this is that I don't want to fake out or attack into the spiky shield and take extra damage if I don't need to. And in addition, I think that Galvantula is also doing more damage than the Togedemaru. So the Togedemaru does the Zing Zap into the Drapion and getting a crit, which is a huge crit. And then my cross poison ends up not getting a crit, which is really sad. And they still have Galvantula here. So now we're not in a great shape. There's not many things we can do. So what I definitely need to kill one of these two Pokemon. And so what I decide to do is just Night Slash and Togedemaru and go for a Shadow Sneak and hope I can crit the Shadow Sneak. If they can hit my Drapion with both moves, or if they're able to kill my Sableye, I don't think I have a way to win this game. However, if I can kill one of them and only get hit by one of the two attacks, I think I have a chance to be able to get here. And so we Shadow Sneak, like I said, hoping for a crit. They protect the Galvantula, which I think is a pretty big deal. And so I think I'm honestly in okay shape as long as I'm able to, get a crit here with the second hit. And so we get the Night Slash, which, 50% chance to crit, and we miss the crit. So definitely sad. I think I can win this game if I get that crit, because we are able to force Primarina to go in, and then we have a Encore onto the Galvantula, and then we would be able to hit the Primarina with 2 hits. And so as long as I'm able to survive an attack from a single Dazzling Gleam with the Drapion, I probably win this game. Obviously, it's probably a roll, but now at this point, the only thing I can do is really just protect and hope that a Shadow Sneak crit can kill. Shadow Sneak can kill the Togedemaru here. So we protect. And Shadow Sneak gets into the Togedemaru. And we do in fact protect and miss the Zing Zap damage. So now we have a pretty easy Shadow Sneak to kill the Togedemaru, and we can cross poison to the Primarina. However, there's not much we can do here because they have Galvantula in the back, and the Dazzle Gleam is going to kill the Sableye here. So they end up spiking shielding instead of doing that, doing an attacking move. The Shadow Sneak goes in, gets a little bit of damage into the Sableye, and the cross poison hits into the Primarina. However, it has the berry, and I do in fact get this crit, and we're able to kind of get into the situation where the game's pretty much over. They dazzling lead, and we get there. So, in all honesty, game 3 was really close. If I would have attacked instead of protecting the one turn with Drapion, I think I have a really good chance to have gotten there. And I think if I would have hit one of 2 crits onto the Togedemaru, I also think I would have gotten there. And so it was an incredibly close match. And, they had Gert had a really good, team composition, and it's a tough matchup, and good games for him.